All right. Well, it looks like we have some folks showing up here. Juan, do we have you?
Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I think we give everybody about another minute to show up here, and then we'll dive right into it to make sure that we take care of all of our folks who have come in from the internet. And looks like Brian's here, and Casey's here, and Dan is here, and we've got Grace Garcia, and Dawn, and John, and Juanita. So welcome everybody. And it looks like some other folks are showing up as I read off these initial names and stuff. So yeah, Juan, I'm ready to get started if you are.
All right, sounds good. So, hey guys, wanted to welcome everybody. My name is Juan Chavez. I am the owner of JMC Equipment, and I am really excited today to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Wally Waldron. Wally has been helping businesses grow on the internet, both offline businesses like your auto shops and online businesses like mine since 2003. He's got a lot of great marketing information for you guys today to help you grow your auto shops. So without spending another dime, well, thank you for being here, Wally. I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Yeah, Juan, thank you very much for the honor to present to your tribe. And you know, I think we've put a lot of great stuff together for the auto shops here, and I'm excited to dive into it. Just so you guys know what to expect, I'm going to sometimes be talking pretty fast, pretty slow, just trying to get through a lot of great information. I really want to just make sure that you understand how to put all these things in place. So how do you get more customers into the door, increase your profits before they leave, and do it so that you don't have to spend another dime in your auto shop. So Juan, if it's okay with you, I'm going to mute you out here while we get into the presentation, and we'll just get right into this.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Awesome. So yeah, thanks guys. I really appreciate everybody showing up here, and we're going to talk about some really great stuff. First, we're going to cover today the 2 reasons why auto shops fail, and of course that's not a happy thing, but we're going to just kind of hit that right on so that we can prevent that, of course. And then we're going to get into some exciting things, so how to get more new customers into the door. I'm going to share with you one simple trick to get customers you have already to spend more with you, and I'm going to show you how to keep them coming in again and again. And towards the end, I'm going to show you how to actually take your current customers and turn them into an automatic lead source so that you get new people coming in. And so make sure you stay until the end. I want to make sure that I get you more new customers, more return customers, and more importantly, the big promise that I have for you is here's how to create additional profits without any extra cost to yourself. And so you know, you're probably wondering, like, you know, why is Wally here? Why does he want to share these secrets, you know, with us? And this is me actually on Monday. I was in front of a place called Old's Garage, and they've been around since 1921. And I actually worked here back in my college days. And you see in that sign kind of above the dumpster where I'm giving the thumbs up, that is a sign that my good friend painted back when we were in college. Tire repair while you wait, and we actually came up with that and started to get more business from it. And so I've actually worked in the industry, believe it or not, and helped these guys throughout the years. They're still good friends of mine, and you know, I'm just a passionate entrepreneur. And so I've always believed what Zig Ziglar used to say, which is, you know, and he's no longer with us, but you know, he'd always say, you can have everything in life if you want, if you will just help enough other people get what they want. And so I believe that, and this is really me kind of just acting on that belief and helping you guys work on your auto shops, and good things will happen. And so before we get too far into it, I do want to warn you a little bit. Simple and easy are not the same thing. So we're going to share a lot of very simple things to do today, simple things that you are totally able to put into place into your business, and will be able to benefit from basically immediately after we hang up the phone today. But easy isn't, you know, just because they're simple doesn't mean they're necessarily easy. So, you know, you might find yourself getting stuck. You might find yourself, you know, getting confused or stuff like that. And so if that ever does happen later on, the line is open, to discuss things with me and stuff like that, and I'll share a little bit more about that later. And so the biggest thing here at the end is I just want to make sure that you know that we're going to be sharing with you at the very end here how to put this system directly into your business right now, how to make sure that people will tell people about you, and I'll make sure that I provide to you free gifts worth over $497, including a step-by-step checklist that you can use in your business, and some other resources too. So without further ado, let's dive right into it here. And there's really two reasons that auto shops fail. And, like I said, simple, not necessarily easy though, right? And so the first failure is people never come in, right? Maybe they don't know about you. They don't know you exist. Maybe you just started up. Maybe you're in a weird location. They don't see you. So, you might have a great location, but poor signage, or you're in a busy location, everybody's too busy to stop in. And probably the biggest one is more of a self-awareness thing from a business side, and that is that you haven't differentiated yourself. So why should we come into your shop instead of the other guy down the road a little bit? The other reason, if you've solved that first problem of getting people in the door, is a much bigger reason actually, and that's that people never come back. And so maybe they forget about you, you didn't provide a memorable experience, or maybe unfortunately they had a bad experience. And I know as well as everybody on the line here today that customers in the auto, your auto customers can be tricky people sometimes. They're going through this situation where, a lot of times they're dealing with a surprise problem because they didn't maintain their car the right way, or, they've got a problem and you got to solve it, right? They feel like they're out of control. So, if the internal culture of your shop, doesn't kind of massage their ego the right way, I guess, there could be some problems, right? So an ideal scenario, of course, is they keep coming in. There's new business. People are coming in off the street. You got new leads stampeding through your door. Then they keep coming back because they have this great experience and they love you and they want more of what you're offering, and you are their place, and they tell more people about you in a positive manner. And of course, that's referral business, right? And that creates more customers. So it's kind of the word on the street. It's the stuff you'll never actually hear, but is super important and super value. And so, the question is then, how do we do that, right? So a little bit about me. This is me, and some folks have actually called me an internet marketing legend. I think it's kind of goofy, but I do go by a name on the internet called Wally the Web Guy. My customers basically named me that a long time ago, and it stuck. Spent my entire career now, going on 20 years, kind of sitting in the combination of taking marketing technology, and then actually even a little bit of deal flow and mergers and acquisitions, kind of a holistic business approach, with the idea being that we can help grow businesses. So I'm very passionate about it. I've written some books. I'm known online for some of those, and I am an operator of multiple businesses. And the big thing that I believe in is that what gets measured gets managed, what gets managed gets improved, and that you always take a continuous improvement approach. And so that's really the goal here today, is show you some things so that you can kind of improve some things on your auto shop. And if that leaves you better than I found you, then we're feeling pretty good today. And so I'm actually an investor in a few companies, in some private companies, and also I think most importantly, as it pertains to you guys on the line here, my mission as a business owner is to help 1,000 entrepreneurs to dominate their markets using the internet. And so a lot of what we're going to be showing you is how you can do that without spending another dime. And I think you're going to really like what I'm sharing with you today. And I'm a family guy, and I love to ski. So Big believer that success creates success, and so some of these things I'm hoping will be duplicated by you guys. I helped one of my customers recently create an automated 5-figure sale when he didn't do anything. So he literally woke up and had $13,000 in his pocket. Another lady, kind of a small business, gained 200 new customers in 36 hours. Certainly something some of the folks on this line could do. Creating an additional $4,000 in sales under 72 hours. I'm sure everybody on this line could do that. Generating a large ROI on marketing and 6 figures in sales in 6 months for one of our customers, creating the best customer quarter in company history, increasing conversions on offers, and the list goes on. And really, to give you some context, how we do that is we really take a scientific approach. And so I know I've got auto shop owners on the line here, and you think of what you do if you're doing a repair that you've never seen before. The first thing you do is you look at the schematic and you start to read the directions, right? And so over the years, what I've developed is essentially a schematic that we can put in front of a business. It's called the Master Key Formula, and it's for creating a sales stampede on the internet for your business. And what it is it's a proven 6-part formula that you can overlay on top of your own business. You can do a gap analysis and figure out what's missing, and then start to fill in the gaps just like you put pieces of a puzzle together. And I'm really excited about it because basically what happened was it was discovered almost by accident, almost despite myself. I was helping businesses do this, and I started to map out all of the projects that I had done with them, and all of those big winners that I just shared with you, they had parts of all 6 of these pieces of the formula. And some of the other projects that, might have been caught in the muddling middle or just didn't do quite as well, they did not have all 6 parts. So there's a map, there's a proven formula here, and within that context, we're going to start talking about how do I put some of these pieces in place for the auto shop? How do I solve these problems? And so going back to the 2 reasons why auto shops fail. We have customers that never come in. We have customers never coming back. So we're going to kind of take these one by one and dive into how to solve them. So the first problem is, all right, so let's take you from they never come in to there's a stampede of new customers. I hope that sounds good. It sounds pretty good to me. And so really, we have to start with the basics, right? And it's not necessarily, oh, we need a new sign. Oh, we need this. What we really need to do is kind of step back, I don't know, 20 or 30,000 feet and think about what your USP is. What is your unique 10%? So yeah, you do oil changes, or yeah, you do tires, or yeah, you do, this and that. But what is the unique 10% that you offer that's different than the guy right down the road? And so in the case of my friend's auto shop that I showed you a picture of, we started just talking and engaging with customers, and one of the big benefits that people enjoyed was, oh, you actually do tire repair while we wait, right? You don't have to drop off the car, come back a couple days later, any of that kind of stuff. The other thing was a real family aspect to it. So like these guys have been around for years and years and years, and these guys, it was like once you started, you'd have your mechanic that you sought out, right? Hey, I'm looking for Bruce, right? Hey, I'm looking for Chris, that kind of thing. And so you really want to start to think about how you differentiate your auto shop from the competition so that you can stand out, because it's going to start, all the marketing that you do and all the messaging you're going to do is going to kind of flow from that. And then philosophically, sales solves all, right? So if you're worried about people never coming in or never coming back, and these are, problems that are, you're struggling with, you really just got to get people in the door and make sure you sell them something. And so, but what are you selling them? And so that's your offer, right? Your offer is where the decision to buy or not to buy from you is made. And so we're going to kind of dive into these a little bit. So what your unique selling proposition is it's a single sentence. And so it's the main focus or the main thrust of your marketing in a single sentence. So you want to know your audience. So kind of like that example I gave you where we knew by talking with our folks that were coming in the door that they really enjoyed the benefit of having tire repair while you wait. So that was the transformation, right? So I want you to take a minute and maybe even take out a piece of paper and a pen and think about what your transformation is that you create for someone. And so I tried to take a low-end, high-end approach here, but yours will be different. Everybody on the line will have a different one. And so um, what you do is you write out, we help people turn blank into blank. And so the couple examples that I came up with, and I'm going to be the first one on the line to say these may not be the best examples anybody's come up with, but we help people turn their cars into long-term, low-maintenance, reliable transportation. So that might work really well for like the middle-aged minivan owner, right? Like, heck yeah, I don't want to buy a new car. I want to keep this thing rolling, and I want it to be reliable. I don't want to be on the side of the road on a Saturday morning on the way to soccer, dealing with screaming children, right? Then maybe on the total different type of shop, we help people increase horsepower and optimize their car fleet so they go faster, farther, and can focus on the driving experience. So this might be like one of my buddies who owns a whole bunch of Porsches and Ferraris, and he's as wealthy as can be, right? He doesn't want to do anything except for get into one of those things and let it rip. Totally different situation, right? He wants to know that that car is going to just own the track. And so on Sunday when he is kind of like blowing off steam and going crazy, he's got that thing. And so your shop is going to have your own version of this. And the thing to key into here is that you're going to create a transformational experience for somebody that comes into your shop. And you want to capture that in your marketing. And so how you do that, once you know that, is you take them through what's called the motivation sequence. And so you take them from interested to invested to the purchase. And oftentimes, the beautiful thing about an auto shop is this sometimes happens very, very quickly because folks have a problem and they show up and they stay in. But then, how do you keep their attention after they leave? How do you continue to outline those problems, provide those solutions, and prove that you're the one that can take action on it? So that's where some of the nurturing comes in. That's where some of your internal marketing comes in. That's where a lot of these different things come around. And so it's important that you continue to nurture folks, right? Now, differentiating yourself, here's a really, really easy exercise, and or maybe it's a simple exercise, but not easy. I don't know. You let me know. But here's what you do, because this is how you start to work through what is my unique proposition, what is my unique selling proposition, what makes me different from Joe's Auto Shop down the line there. And so over on the left-hand side are going to be your features, and you've heard this before. And it's one of these old yarns of sell the sizzle but not the steak. But it works because, I'm not really interested in anything except for that nice steaming hunk of meat that just smells awesome. It's medium rare, and it's got the right marble on it, right? So I don't care about how much protein's in it. I don't care about how much fat's in it. I care about how it's going to taste. So in your case, this is the features benefit exercise. So a feature on the left-hand side might just be your offering. So oil change, for instance. Well, what are the benefits of an oil change? Well, it keeps your car running longer. It keeps you out of the shop. And this is kind of counterintuitive. A lot of what I might talk about is you almost being an advocate for showing these people how to stay out of the shop. And I'll explain why that is later. But the long and short of that is that you become trusted, and that's the most important thing that we can create here. But there's all these different benefits of an oil change, right? Coming in for a tire rotation, for instance. All of these entry-level offerings that an auto shop has, where we all know on this line what we're really trying to do is get you in, get you invested, make sure that you're trusted, you're trusting us, and then we're going to find another problem with the car, because there's always another problem with the car. And depending on what type of customer that is, they might be the kind of person who's like, yes, fix it before it's a big problem. Other types of customers, you might have to build the trust by saying, yeah, there's a problem, let's acknowledge it together, and come in 30 days when it's worse. The whole thing there is to get super conscious about what you're offering, And those are the features and then the benefits to the customer and putting yourself in their shoes. So as you start doing that, then we can start to take the messaging part now and put it out into the marketplace. And this is the second part of how we solve that they don't know about you. And so of course there's like normal advertising, like, you know, there's a billboard, right? That's gonna be expensive. Online, okay, that might be less expensive. And actually, as we go through this, I'm going to show you a couple online strategies that will ensure that when somebody is searching for you, they will find you. And the key, though, is putting the messaging, now that you have something that you know works with your people that are already buying from you, is getting that out into places where people are looking. And what you're trying to do so that is solve the problem that they don't see you or they don't think about you. You're trying to create top-of-mind awareness. And as you become the top of mind awareness and somebody thinks, you know, they don't think like, I need to see a mechanic. They think, I need to go see Don, the mechanic, or I need to go see, right, Charlie, the mechanic. Then that means that you've created that market share in their brain and they're going to keep coming back. And so you have to make sure that they're there when they look for you. And so a lot of that in an auto shop situation is going to be somebody having a problem and searching local businesses. And remember, a lot of this is going to be a combination of, I have a problem, I'm looking on my mobile device, I'm looking for the right auto shop here, and I need to rank higher than, say, the local Maaco or local whoever. And make sure that I am showing up, number one, where they're looking for me first. If it is the device, then secondly, I need to be easily found and have good signage when I am found to create a congruent experience so that they feel welcomed and ready to go into your shop. And that creates a situation where you become omnipresent and you're everywhere. And I want to give you guys a very awesome resource. These are the Guerrilla Marketing books. Guerrilla Marketing was created by J. Conrad Levinson back in the early 80s, and basically he solved the problem of how do we take expense out of marketing and create strategies for making big profits from your small business. And there are hundreds upon hundreds of these books out there. I just grabbed a couple off of Amazon here, but literally you could spend less than $5 or maybe even a few cents on Amazon and grab some of these and just start putting some of these things in place, because once you've done the exercise that I shared with you a few minutes ago and you know what you're going to be talking about, the guerrilla marketing approach is just getting that message out there. And so what we've done at this point is we've created a situation where people are coming in, right? We've gone from they never come in to where have we gone? Sorry, I lost my spot there. But we come in from, so people are coming into the shop, right? And so now we've come in, you know, they never came in, now they do. All right, now they're coming into the shop. How do we turn these people into customers for life, right? Because this first part was, how do we get more people in the door? Because we know that if we get more people into the door, that we're going to have more opportunities to sell them stuff. But that doesn't really matter unless we do a very, very good job of making them come back. And, you know, the reason for that, of course, is because it's much harder to acquire a new customer than it is to keep a happy one. And especially a happy one that is interested in going out, talking to their friends and saying what a great job you did. And so that's really what we're trying to do. Let's create customers for life. So here's my big assumption, and I don't think anybody's going to raise their hand and fight me on this, but my big assumption is that you are good at what you do and that you're an honest shop. So if you're not, I'll let you take that up with the powers that be, and I'm sure that, you know, I'm sure that everybody on the line is an honest shop. So now that we're doing good work for folks, there's still the risk of having a bad experience. Like what can happen to create a bad experience? You know, you could have an internal culture. Maybe there's a bad apple working there, you know, or whatever. Everybody's having a bad day. I don't know. How do we solve that? Well, you have to have a real operations focus, right? So You want to make sure that if you're the owner, you're coming in, you're keeping people stoked, you're keeping people happy. Once in a while when those issues are truly escalated to your level, you solve it for people and make sure that, everybody is coming back in and happy again. And, the worst one I think that can happen is that you do good work, but while they're waiting, they feel like they're out of control, because that's just a tricky situation, right? And so, you kind of have to know the culture of your clientele. um, we're kind of at it's sort of an good old boys Americana culture at the shop that I took a picture in front of. That's their thing, right? They've kind of got this shtick, and they have you hang around in the waiting room and they tell you old stories and they got collectibles from back in the day and all that. Other shops, they might be as clean as an operating room, and they've got auto racing on the big screen. You'll figure out what that is for you, and you can survey and informally ask your best customers. I mean, do an 80-20 analysis, figure out who's spending the most money, and take a few of them out to dinner. Figure out what they really like, and then let that drive your messaging, right? So in Juan's case, with JMC Automotive, everybody here on this line is part of the family. And so, right, like Juan's a family guy. Whenever we have a chance to talk, we're always checking in on each other's families. And, he comes from a family of auto folks, and they're just an awesome group. And so if you remember the first time that you ever did anything with, if you bought something at JMC Automotive Equipment, the first thing you did was get an email that said, welcome to the family, right? And, they live that there, and it creates loyalty, and it gives us all opportunities to have great conversations like we're doing right now. And when you create this loyalty and you start to create that culture, then what happens is ideally these folks keep coming back in. And now, that's in an ideal world. I'm a realist, and I think most people on this line are realists. So why do they keep coming back in? Well, it's because we remind them to, right? And so, of course, the reason that we're doing that is because, like we said earlier, a new customer is much harder to acquire. We have to get them off of the internet or off of the street into the shop, make them feel comfortable, get them to do something. It's a lot of work. It's much more expensive than just asking somebody to come back for something that everybody agrees they already need, right? And so really the goal of this next section of information that I'm going to be sharing with you here is to allow you to create future repeat business every single day. Because, that's really the name of the game, right? If you want to create additional profits without spending any more money as a business owner, then repeat business is the name of the game. And so, excuse me, so we do that by creating loyal customers. And what I want to walk you through here is a process that you can actually implement inside your business. And it's something you can do. There's no additional cost. It uses your internal staff and your internal systems that more than likely already exist today. And I think most importantly, kind of, being a realist, it's proven to create additional traffic into the shop. So this isn't anything that, that we just ginned up or anything like that. This is all proven strategies that we've seen work elsewhere that I'm sharing with you today. And so the first thing you're going to want to do is sign up for a free MailChimp account or something of that nature. So some of you might already have like a Constant Contact or an iContact or a MailChimp or something of that nature. But if you're not doing email marketing, you're really missing out. The studies have shown that email marketing on average, while to execute on it is almost free, the average return on investment every single year is 4,300%. Now, if I could get, I'm not a math whiz or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that if I could get that type of return or even half of that return in the stock market, that Warren Buffett and I would probably be having lunch all day long. So, anyways, this is the first step. We got to do the sign up for MailChimp. They've got a free plan. And later on, of course, as you get more and more customers, they will escalate you into some kind of paid plan. But start with the free one, and we're going to work on keeping them coming back. So very, very simply, part of what MailChimp has is some sign-up forms, and you'll create one following their step-by-step systems, and you'll put the customer into the system after that initial visit. So if today is the 19th, and at the end of the day you have a list of all the customers that came through, maybe part of closing out the cash register is putting all that information into the system. Do it all at once. And I'm speaking with the owners here. You probably won't be doing it. You'll probably have a staff member do it or something like that. Now that they're in the system, this is where the good stuff comes back. And so you can do automations with MailChimp. And so you can set up, for instance, automated email reminders every 90 days. And I literally got this this information right off of MailChimp's website, so they document how to do it. And basically, if you see there, what that's showing us is that, okay, so based on the list added date, meaning based on the date that you or your staff member put somebody into the system, certain emails will go out on a daily, not a daily, but a delayed basis. And so you can set this up for however you want it to go. So I said 90 days just to give you a sense, but it could be every 30 days, it could be every 15 days, and you could take them through different types of reminders. So 90 days, the low-hanging fruit, of course, is you came in for an oil change, I'll see you in 90 days, right? Why? Well, maybe you don't need your oil change, but then the intervals are changed, but we need to check your tires, we need to check this, Now, keep them coming back. Here's the second part of your internal process. So you've set up your automated email reminders. They go out every 90 days or whatever that interval is that you decide works for you. And I definitely am a big fan of monthly or even bi-monthly or even weekly email, and depending on what you can pull off. And so what you're doing is you're coming back to that top of mind awareness. Most people still start their day on the internet either searching for something, and we already talked about how to get found on the internet, or they start by checking their email. So what we're trying to do here is kind of take the two places where somebody is going to be found, meaning you, and make sure that you're in front of your potential customers. So the monthly email, of course, is easy to talk about. You can go to jmcautomotive.equipment.com and check out some of the tips and blog posts that Juan has put up there, and you can build off of those, right? You can talk about the additional services that you offer, helpful tips for maintaining your car, so you don't have to come into the shop. And that was kind of the counterintuitive trick that I wanted to share with you. The weirdest thing is that you will become a trusted advisor by sharing with your customers how to stay out of the shop. And so you could do this through customer stories. You could talk about, different, if you're that high-end shop with all the guys driving the Ferraris and stuff, have a featured customer standing in front of his car, right? Those types of guys, they love to check each other out, their cars and all this. It's hilarious, right? If you're way on the other end of the spectrum, the minivan guy is just trying to keep the thing running, give him those tips. What can he do on the weekend to keep his car running without you? And so maybe his interval of coming in will be a little bit longer, but then he's going to come in for the big stuff that he obviously doesn't know how to do, or he's going to try some stuff and screw it up, and then you're going to have to come in and save him, and then he loves you even more. So it always works, and it's very counterintuitive, but the more you can show and teach and kind of give them some empowerment there, when they do come in and have that experience of your shop, they will have they'll have a much better experience, and they'll feel like they're in control. So that's how we start to do that. So now we've built the trust with our customer, right? And we're becoming an advocate for them. We're becoming an ally. We're really sitting on their same side. And so then let me just break this down for you. And first of all, before I show you these numbers, let me warn you, I don't own an auto shop, so if these are like totally off, I apologize. But I just kind of came up with like some basic just kind of literally back of the envelope numbers. So if you do an average oil change and it's $50, so that's 200 a year if you just get them in with the email marketing, right? All right, that's nothing to sneeze at. That doesn't really matter. That's just enough to get them in the door. But then you start to sell them additional services per year. So let's just say that like that's a minimum of $250 to $1,200. And you can probably tell, you know, I'll bet there's some of you on the line who are like, dude, I would get so much more money out of additional services than that. And I hope that that's true. And I really don't know my pricing in the auto shop world. So I'm just going to throw that out there. But when I look at this here, you know, just let's say that we start doing these numbers and you capture those 2,000 people, and just a small percentage, so 2,000 people, if you get 20 of them to spend an extra $1,000 with you, that's $20,000 more a year in revenue, and you know that's a good chunk of somebody's salary. And all of this is with no advertising budget, right? And I haven't even shown you how to get more of these types of people in the door yet. This is just keeping people coming back, right? So think about where we've been so far, right? We've generated more trust. We're starting to be seen as like that perfect solution to their perfect problem. We're staying in front of them automatically because you've just changed your processes slightly in your business. Now what we can do is we can start to leverage these current happy customers who are spending more money with you to create more local SEO traffic for you. So we can actually start to dominate the internet by crowdsourcing or leveraging the customers that are already coming in your door. And here's how we do this. So I was talking about what gets measured gets managed. And so that's a KPI. That is a something that needs to be tracked and improved upon. So what that is for every customer that comes in, the first KPI is were they put into the database and are they on the automation marketing post-sale follow-up. We call that the trust building automated follow-up sequence. And I have some other specific trainings that dive deeper into that, which I'm happy to send you if you just shoot me a note and request it. But then the second part of that is to get a review from every customer. So KPI number 1 is did they get put into the database, yes or no? KPI number 2, get a review from every customer. And what that does is it creates relationship enhancers. It creates social proof. And so for instance, Courtney Garwood here, she's pumped. Says these guys have always done great work for me. They're trustworthy and reliable. Grady is very honest and always treats me fairly. Da 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 da. So I want to show you how to facilitate these types of Google reviews, and I'm going to verbally discuss it with you right now, and I will also make sure to send you a step-by-step checklist so that you can put this directly into your business at the end here. And so check out this one. Of course, you know, I think, I don't know if I know any auto repair shop that doesn't have a love-hate relationship with Yelp at this point, but check this out. We love Tim with we trust Tim with our Volvo. It was the worst decision I ever made to use somebody else, basically. So both of these, this guy name drops Grady, this guy name drops Tim. So what you can actually do in your business is you can create an internal contest of who can get the most reviews per month. And so in that previous case, you could track it by, oh, they name dropped Grady. And, oh, they name dropped Tim, right? So whoever gets their name dropped the most wins the contest. Or maybe you're having one of the front end staff members do it. So you figure out a different tracking word in your reviews. But what you want to do is every single month have somebody come through and put it up on a leaderboard somewhere in the break room and see who's getting the most reviews, because this is going to help you, along with filling out a complete profile on Google, it'll help you leapfrog everybody else on the local SEO front, and you won't have to spend money on that. You can probably actually get rid of all of your local Yellow Pages stuff. You can get rid of all this other stuff. And then if you need a boost, you know, you call up your local marketing companies or we can even help you with that. So, but a lot of times you can just get rid of those costs, and that's awesome because then you can continue to reinvest in other things that will generate business for you. And so the next internal contest is then who can upsell a future appointment better, right? So there's a different marketing automation situation perhaps, and you can run reports off of something as simple as MailChimp, or if you have a more complex system in place, who can upsell to that future appointment. Just these two internal contests, you're now leveraging your internal workforce to generate more business for you, and you've leveraged your customer base who trust you and like you more to create more inbound new customers because you're being found on Google, because the reviews are looking good and all this other stuff. And so as you're thinking about this, I highly encourage you to consider trying the do-it-yourself approach if that hits well for you and it sits well for you. And if you get stuck, then you consider doing a done-for-you approach. And basically, the two different approaches, there's benefits to each, right? So the do-it-yourself approach, you're going to learn a few numerous computer systems while maybe perhaps you should be out selling or you should be optimizing your operations. It can be time consuming. Now, on the other hand, once you learn it, you've got internal knowledge and you can train people on how to do it. So it's a bit of a just like anything, there's some good and some bad to it. But the do-it-yourself approach is very, very valid and always highly encouraged. Don't ever use confusion or time consuming as an excuse to not get good activities done, right? That's really the name of the game here. And so the other approach, of course, is the done-for-you approach, right? This is when you have somebody set it up for you in 30 days, and now you've basically, instead of a learning curve, you just follow directions, you fill out a few forms and stuff that's already set up for you, and you're monetizing every new customer. And so I think what I would do if I were in your situation is I would kind of do a little projection there, like do it yourself, how much time would I take needing to do this, and how much would it take out of my other higher value activities, and do I have techie people on site or not? And if I don't, consider maybe doing it this way. And again, big numbers, guys, so I just do the calculation if I were in your shoes. Small business owners typically say that getting back an extra hour of their time is worth $273. There's a bunch of different ways you can calculate that. You'll want to calculate it for yourself, obviously. Your number may be higher or lower. And the concept here really is, it actually has nothing to do with this particular marketing training and getting more people into your business. I really want to support your mindset here as an entrepreneur. And so the concept is, rich people buy time and poor people sell time. And so I'll give you an example of that from my own world. Back in March, I was just busy. I was busy with travel. I hadn't seen my family for a couple weeks very much, and I was just missing them. You get caught up in work and you're like, God, I just miss my little kids. And so I don't know, it was like 3 PM and I was about to do a bunch of bookkeeping stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. Rich people buy time, poor people buy time. I'm like, I want to be wealthy with family time today. And so I spent 15 minutes creating a video and a step-by-step email to send over to my bookkeeper. And she did all of the bookkeeping stuff that was outstanding instead of me. And I came home, and I kid you not, my daughter met me at the door, ran and gave me a big hug, and we looked outside, and there was an entire herd of elk in our backyard because we live in the middle of nowhere. And I just sat there and thought, you know what? That's really what it's all about, is figuring out a way to buy more time. And if you think about what I was practicing there, I'm sure that you as a business owner, you're busy. You have a version of that too, right? And so that's, do what you do best and hire out the rest, right? So The cool thing, again, about having a shop is you've got people running around. And so a lot of this is already hired out, and you just kind of change what their expectations. Find that guy who wants to set up MailChimp this month. Find that person who wants to facilitate more Yelp reviews, and kind of just build that culture from inside. And of course, if you set up that MailChimp automation I was speaking of, when in doubt, automate it out. So I want more appointments. Boom, automated. That's a good situation compared to, some of the other options that are out there, right? So basically, here's what you would need to get started with these internal initiatives. So you'll end up with local SEO optimized, and like I said, I'll send you some information on this in the next couple of days. But you'll need to make sure you have a Yelp account credentials set up, your Google account credentials set up. You want to make sure that you've claimed your local listing. If you haven't done that, do that this afternoon. It's a pain. It's not really that bad. They send you a postcard and you got to call them back and type in some codes. And then you want to go get that free MailChimp account set up. And so you just go to MailChimp.com and kind of click on those buttons there. And then from there, you just you go through the exercises that we just discussed. As far as the USP, get your marketing all ducks in a row, do the features and benefits exercise, and then start putting these things in place. And so somebody comes in at the end of the day, go through the list of everybody who came in, make sure they get put in MailChimp, and know that they're going to be notified on that regular basis. Facilitate the conversation with those visitors so that they do leave a positive Google account or a Google review or a Yelp review and stuff like that. And if they're not going to, the other benefit that we've created there is we can now have a conversation with them to find out why not, which then tells you where are the leaks in the bucket, where are you failing that you could be doing better and providing better service. So it's really a cool feedback loop that happens. And so remember, do what you do best and hire out the rest. Rich people buy time, poor people buy time. We're not necessarily talking about money here. We're talking about time wealth. And when in doubt, automate it out. And so the three simple rules that I would like to basically leave you guys with, so that you're maximizing this training session here is, if you don't go after what you want, you'll never have it. And so I know a lot of times I've received pushback at first on some of these things like, oh, we don't need one more thing to do, or we're confused by the technology, or we know that after 2,000 people in MailChimp, it's going to start costing us a little bit of money. I mean, I've heard it all, right? And just think a lot bigger than that. I mean, just go after what you want. Figure out why you're in this business to begin with, and who you're serving, and what you're up to. And I think in Juan, in my case, we're family guys. So ultimately, we think about what we're trying to create for our family, and we build a business around it. And so I would encourage you to figure out your version of that. And if you don't ask for what you want, the answer is always no. And if you don't step forward, you'll always be in the same place. And so I'm not sure if we're a good fit to ever work together, and we will have plenty of time to figure that out if you do decide to work with me on another level besides attending the occasional training or something like that. I want to promise you that anything that I would present in front of you would be 100% risk-free. I wouldn't give you access to my team or any of our resources if we didn't think it would help. And eventually you will have a decision to make, and the good news is it's an easy decision. And so what I've put together here for you guys is very simple. I have created something called a Sales Stampede strategy session. And so we covered a whole bunch of stuff here today. And what I heard after doing a lot of these trainings was that, there's questions. And rather than answer a bunch of questions on this webinar, I like to kind of get my hands dirty. I like to get on the line with you, talk to you, and find out if there's something there that I can answer in a very detailed manner. And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sending a follow-up email to everybody who has taken the time out to be on this webinar today. And I thank you and I appreciate your time very much. I hope you found this an investment in your growth. I will be sending you a special report on local search engine optimization so that you can internalize some of these things. And I will also send you that step-by-step process that you can modify for your own business to get more reviews and get more feedback on all of that type of stuff. And then if you go to internetsalesstampede.com right now, what you can do is you can actually set up a meeting with me. It's a $497 value. I will treat you like you are my highest paying customer, and we will just have a conversation. I'll help you get unstuck with any of these things you're trying to put in your business. And the whole idea here is I want to make sure that you can gain access to the people who are searching for you right now. I want to make sure you can solve their problems right now, help you drive more demand for your products and services. I want to help you optimize your conversions, optimize any of your marketing, and help you tie all those moving pieces together so you have a single working marketing system, so that you have something that is delivering sales and profits for you over and over again. And so if you go over to the internetsalesstampede.com/meet, you'll find a short little questionnaire there. We'll have somebody call you back and just get to know your business a little bit better. And like I said, the whole thing here, you know, you're part of Juan's family, his business family. You're part of my family now. Really just trying to set you guys up for success now so we can grow together for many years to come. And so definitely encourage you to take me up on that. You take this step, I'll be there with you the rest of the way. And, you know, would love to see you over there. And, you know, let's have some feedback. Let's see how you're doing putting these things in place into your business. And I really look forward to having that conversation with you. So we'll see you over there. And I know Juan has been here listening to me this whole time. I'm not sure if he has any words. Yeah, you're unmuted if you'd like to say anything, or if you have any takeaways that you'd like to share with the group, or pretty much anything.
Well, no, I just wanted to say thank you very much for all the tips. You know, those are great, some amazing tips, really easy to use, and obviously really inexpensive. You know, and I definitely want to encourage everyone to at least meet with Wally so he can go over all those tips and everything. You know, he's a good friend of mine. We've been working together for quite a while, so he really knows his stuff. But yeah, thank you everybody for being here today, and hope to speak to you guys soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Juan, and yeah, thanks for everybody for being on the line here. You know, I'll look for you over at that URL. Here's what you're going to see if you go over to that URL. You'll just see something that looks like this. You just put in your name, your email, your website, your phone number, and one thing that you think I should know about your business. Click this little send button here, and we'll be talking. So yeah, I really appreciate everybody's time here. And you'll hear from me to get you those other systems and stuff like that. And I really look forward to wherever we all go on the journey. So Juan, thanks again for putting me on the line with the group, and thanks for everybody who took time out of your busy day to be here. And I truly hope it was very valuable, and I hope that you see those profits flowing from our time today. So.
All right, perfect.
All right.
Thank you very much, Wally.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.